In prehistoric times, Homo sapiens was deeply endangered. Early humans were less fleet of foot, with fewer natural weapons and less well-honed senses than all the predators that threatened them. Moreover, they were hampered in their movements by the need to protect their uniquely immature young juicy meals for any hungry beast. The more that is uncovered from the past, the more we learn about how similar modern humans are to our prehistoric ancestors. From medicinal practices to tattoos to the DNA, even though technology has vastly changed, not much about who we are has. Covering a wide range of different Homo genus groups, prehistoric humans were able to survive through the toughest of times, yet only Homo sapiens were able to make it to modern day. Early humans didn't really have the hunting skills that we imagine they did. Instead of going directly after large prey, many groups of these prehistoric humans waited until another predator took down a large animal, and then went in afterward to scavenge the remains. Bone cancer has been found in the early human species of Homo canamensis. The remains were found in Kenya by one of the world's leading paleoanthropologists, Louis Leakey, and scientists were surprised to find a lump left by a tumor on the jaw. People tend to think of cancer as a modern disease, but it's been with humanity from the beginning. Found in 1991 in the Ötztal Alps, Ötzi, the Iceman, is the earliest natural human mummy ever discovered in Europe. Alive from sometime between 3400 and 3100 BCE, the most surprising thing about his body was that he had tattoos. And not just one or two, but 61 different tattoos in total, making him the oldest tattooed mummy ever found. The tattoo ink was produced from ash or soot and is believed to have been used as a form of pain relief. All humans today can be traced back to one female ancestor from about 150,000 years ago. Known as the mitochondrial Eve, she is the most recent common matrilineal ancestor for modern humans, meaning that everyone on Earth today is her direct descendant. Brain surgery is a risky endeavor. Now imagine prehistoric brain surgery. Sure, sounds like maybe the biggest risk a prehistoric human could take, but not only was it practiced, but evidence suggests that it was even quite successful. Trepanation, or in simpler terms, drilling a hole in a person's skull, has been done for various reasons for over 10,000 years, but it might not have always been that crazy of idea. The procedure can actually release pressure on the brain in case of injury, and might, rarely, have actually been beneficial. Skulls found with primitive surgery marks, and evidence of bone tissue regrowth, date back to 8000 BCE. One form of prehistoric surgery used ants in order to sew up wounds. Primarily used in the Americas, people would hold an ant above an open wound and wait for it to bite the skin with its pincers. Once bitten, the head would be removed so that the pincers would stay in place as a stitch. Modern researchers have been able to go back and restructure some of the prehistoric languages and shockingly found that some of the words used are strikingly similar to our modern vocabulary. One theory posits that words such as hand and fish were conceptually derived from words used 15,000 years ago during the Mesolithic period. We call these words cognates, which means that they are words which have been preserved through history and are used across many different cultures. The oldest evidence we have of someone with blue eyes dates back to only 7,000 to 8,000 years ago. Discovered in northwest Spain, the blue eyes were paired with a dark skin tone, similar to that of modern sub-Saharan Africans. While blue eyes are rare, they're even rarer than you think, as analysis indicates that everyone with blue eyes today can be traced back to a single person who lived in that time period. The reason this trait survived is likely because this anomaly was seen as highly attractive and people with blue eyes were able to successfully reproduce. One of the most important food discoveries by prehistoric humans was bone marrow. There isn't too much to be found when relying on scavenging, but in finding marrow they hit the jackpot, as this became their vital source of protein for a period of time. Historians agree that prehistory ended when written language was invented. But because written language was invented at different times all around the world, prehistory is considered to have ended at different times for different countries. For example, writing appears in Egypt around 3200 BCE. But in New Guinea, written language didn't arrive until the first visits of European explorers, in about 1600 AD. Meaning New Guinea's prehistory didn't until about 5,000 years after prehistory ended in Egypt. For a prehistoric human, the average lifespan was only about 35 years. However, this does not mean they didn't live long, healthy lives. With an enormously high infant mortality rate, this average is drastically scaled down compared to today. Archaeological evidence shows that it was not completely uncommon for people to live at least into their 70s. Neither history nor evolution necessarily progresses in a linear manner. With the rise of prehistoric humans, many Homo genera lived on Earth together. That means that early Homo sapiens lived alongside such cousins as the Homo floresiensis as recently as only 15,000 years ago. While Neanderthals and Homo sapiens were able to interbreed, it is believed that only in the females humans were eggs able to be fertilized. Because of this, many modern humans have part of the Neanderthal genome inside of them to this day. This happened after Homo sapiens migrated out of Africa and began living alongside their more primitive cousins in Europe.